Hello to all. Uh, this is a message mainly to my European friends at the moment. Of course, I wish it reaches everybody, but since I've been living in Europe for the past 10 years, I will specifically dedicate it to my friends in Europe. It is hard for me to know where to start, but I just want to say this is not merely about geopolitics and Palestine exclusively, but for me it's about something that matters even more, which is morality, about being moral. Hard to say how much of you is aware of what was happening back in the days of the apartheid in South Africa. But I am mentioning it right now because you did play a huge role in ending that. And this time of life is not like any other time. This is a time in which we face a challenge, a very daunting challenge, a complex challenge to not let history repeat itself, to not live a future filled with remorse like what we have already lived and experienced. And this is the time for that. That's why I'm talking about South Africa first right now, because the beginning of it on the rising went quite unnoticed and or like kind of faced with the silence from the international community. Only later, when certain incidents like the 1960 Sharpeville massacre and the Soweto protest massacre occurred, that brought the world's attention to a new shift and a new understanding of what kind of merciless and aggressive and oppressive regime they were under. These times are similar and even worse. It is not only people shot in protests. We're talking about super sophisticated jets literally bombing everybody. You're talking about more than 50% of casualties are children. Children. Pay attention to that. Save the Children just released a new announcement today saying that the amount of children who died in Gaza already is more than any other armed conflict in the past 3 years in 20 countries globally. This is what is happening right now. It's a massacre. It's a genocide. And back in the days, European played a huge role in ending what's happening. And I still believe that you have the same role. You still have the same role. Each country in particular has a very specific nature of moral depth towards Palestine. Everyone in particular, and that's not what I want to talk about. And of course, I can flood you with horrifying images right now, but it's not my intention to manipulate your feelings with such visuals. I am just really trying to come to a point in which we discuss morality, to come to something I want to call our shared human moral compass. In the past 10 years, I have been into so many workshops and conferences in Europe. That's probably where I met most of my European friends, in which Europe was spending billions of dollars to promote morals and values they are failing substantially to live up to right now. As Bernard Russell say, there are in fact two types of moralities in this world. Moralities which we practice but do not preach, and moralities we preach but seldom practice. And this seems to be the very status quo of our day right now. This is what we are experiencing, this double immoral standards that we are seeing. Yes, many ask like, oh, what can we do? What can we do? Like, if you hear me out, there is one mandatory thing that you should do and a million optional ones. But for now, for a start, all I can say is that you need to make a stand. You cannot be neutral in this. This is not the time for neutrality. Being neutral is the worst thing you can be. Make a stand, take a choice, take a side. You cannot be just neutral on this. There is a wise man who said, how can you ever be outstanding if there was nothing in standing? Be substantial. Check information. See what's going on. Make a stand in your heart. Make a stand. choose inside of your heart what is right and what is wrong, because this will haunt you later on in life, because this is one of those times in life that you need to make a stand. And I invite you all to just find morality, common sense, rationality, because this might be a complex matter for the uninformed, but this is no complex matter. This is pure injustice that has been happening for over 70 years now. It's not complex. Use your mind, use your heart, use your soul, use your morality, and make a stand. And this is what I would love to invite you all for. And thank you to whoever is listening to this.